This way? This way. It's all very technical here. Good evening, everybody, both here physically with us and those of you watching on Facebook and or YouTube. This is our first shot at actually broadcasting our Wednesday evening meditations, music, and discussion groups. And tonight is a special night. We made a special effort to get it going tonight because at 7 o'clock p.m. is the beginning of the Worldwide Day of Prayer. Okay, I got my crew here helping me out. So, for those of you watching along, and for you guys here, go ahead and get comfortable. And we'll start our meditation. For those of you, these guys are all my regulars, so they know what's going on. If you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, what we're going to do is go for about a 20-minute meditation. And at the end of the meditation, I will bring us back with 3 chimes of the cymbals. And at the beginning of the meditation, I'm going to give us some guidance to get us into the right, hopefully kind of like the right mindset. And then the vast majority of our time is going to be in silent meditation. So if you're ready, go ahead and get comfortable. And I'll get this little background music here. Hopefully the mics are picking up the music as well. Like I said, go ahead and get comfortable. Close your eyes if that works for you. And begin to focus on your breathing. Start taking those long, slow, deep breaths. Perhaps stretching your breath out to a count of 4. If you inhale for 4 seconds, and then hold your lungs full for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds, and again hold your lungs empty for 4 seconds. You can either continue with what we call the square breathing for 4 seconds, or just get into a comfortable rhythm for yourself, taking those long, slow, deep breaths. Start to focus on your breathing. Think about any stress or discomfort that you may have built up in you. And see yourself as breathing in the healing energy that surrounds us and sending it to those locations. And when you exhale, see that stress or discomfort leaving your body. Let the waves just wash them away. And know that it's okay if the thoughts pop into your mind. Just try not to focus on them or engage with them. Just let the thoughts go by. Think of your mind as a beautiful stream, and the thoughts that pop up are just the leaves floating on the water. Just acknowledge their presence. Let them float on by. And now let's take some time to just sit in peace and enjoy the moment. And not only try to raise the energy for yourself, those around us, perhaps in whatever city you're in, and especially tonight, the world itself. So just sit in peace and just enjoy the moment of now. it is just about 7 o'clock. I think it's time for us to light a candle. Kathy, do you want to light the candle? Very cool.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael.
Hey.
Wonderful. Yourself? So at this point, we lit the candle for the Worldwide Day of Prayer, which officially started at 7 o'clock our time here on the East Coast. Hit it pretty close. And with that said, our conversation is usually based on some ramblings that either go through my head or our head as a group. However, today we're going to do something a little bit different. We went to Unity Worldwide Ministries, and they had a couple of questions that, they thought, these would be great questions for kicking off the day of prayer. So we'll just pick, I don't know if we'll get through all three, but we'll start at the top and work our way down. How's that sound? I'm very methodical. Sometimes. Okay, stop laughing. Okay, so our first question says, how do you look beyond troubling circumstances that provoke fear, looking instead through the spiritual lens of faith? Can the feeling of fear truly be misplaced faith, prompting you to change your focus to faith? So who's got a thought on that?
I have been contemplating that. I'm not quite sure, what it
Can you speak
means.
up or,
Yeah, I have
or
been,
take that thing off?
I've been contemplating that
Mhm.
question, and I'm not quite sure if I even have the answer. I went through a rough time where I kind of turned away,
Mm-hmm.
and then at one point I got closer, and I just found that it was like a friend, it was like a support, so I kind of turned to faith then, and it helped, I didn't feel so alone.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And that's a great way to use it.
Yeah.
And of course, nobody had these questions beforehand, so we didn't prep the audience.
Yeah.
And our studio audience isn't huge, so bear with us, guys. And we can always circle around. Do you have any thoughts?
No, I have to read the question.
Okay.
And I need my glasses
You can do that too.
so I can check.
So let's look at the second question. Like I said, we're gonna bounce back and forth. The second question says, how does knowledge of and faith in your oneness with God help you move from fear to faith? What capacity does this knowledge give you, and how do you hold your mind faithful? Gratitude. Good answer. You're the queen of gratitude.
Mother of gratitude. No, with gratitude, it eliminates the fear. And so if we could cast out the fear entirely of that part of our brain, the lower part of our brain,
Mm-hmm.
and expand our consciousness on the rest of our brain. And I always say, we're thankful for our past, and it is over. So we're thankful for our past. We appreciate right now, and we have gratitude for our future.
Cool.
And when you just have gratitude for your own life, and you go to bed thinking about that, you wake up, look in the mirror and say, thank you. And that's when everything starts to turn.
Kind of like Sunday's message.
That's,
I
yeah.
agree.
Thank you.
In fact, I think that having gratitude for even the troubled times
Yeah.
is the way to turn it,
Mhm.
is to say, instead of moving away from it, embrace it, and bring it, kind of welcome it, and then it doesn't, it's kind of twist, like you said, like I do that sometimes before I go to bed, and by the next day, something's changed. it's like I planted the seed overnight and it's changed.
Yeah.
And like they were saying with the message, I'm trying to say thank you even for the negative, even for the things that I,
All of
you
it.
know, and I say thank you. So I was trying to do that more and more.
Yeah, 'cause- and how many times do we, you know, we go through a rough patch or have a challenge or something that at the time just seems miserable. But when you look back at it a month, 6 months, 5 years later, it's like, wow, if I hadn't had that lesson, I wouldn't be where I am today.
That is true.
And write it down.
Ooh, write it down.
Because those become the miracles along your way for your own journey and story of how did I get here and what stones did I walk on, but I didn't have anything, that my foundation wasn't there. Then that just makes it bigger and gives you validation that it wasn't your imagination. You just steamrolled through it and you used your faith and you used, you know, everything at your resources. But the easiest part of it was saying thank you, which is the hardest part.
That's so true. One of my personal life lessons relative to that was dealing with my father as an alcoholic, as an older adult. And I guess in the simplest terms, the deep down what you realize, I mean, it hits you to your core when you really have to completely realize that you can help someone only so much,
Right.
Yes.
but they are the ones that have to make the choice. And I have applied that over and over and over in my life. Some that exist today, which I won't share, but it is true. I mean, it's been a powerful lesson for me, and as hard as it was when I was in the middle of it, and it's incredibly difficult to be at someone's side and try to help. You really do have to let go and let God. And the way I see that is when I say let go and let God, it's really letting the universe speak to that person and truly hope that they're strong enough or they're open enough to listen to the message that is being delivered to them and guide them to choices. But there's only so much you can do.
Yep.
They have to choose. So.
I want
That
to
is
add
my
something to
family.
that though too. It's a lot of practice for me. Took it from the start. Acceptance is the big one for me. I had to first accept the idea of letting go,
Yes.
you know, and letting God.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hard one to do because it's like I grew up a certain way, and my God was always the one that was kind of pointing the finger and going, okay, this is what's going to happen to you if you do this and this and this
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And now, you know, that's why I point with my left. But no, actually, long story short, is I feel that, you know, between accepting, you know, being willing to do it on the next step, and then finally being able just to let go, let God, write it down. That was awesome because I was thinking to myself, when I write things down, not only do I be grateful for what happened to me, but then I can also look at it and go, okay, there was a lesson there. The next time this happens, I'll remember it, maybe. You know, and if I happen to run into this situation again, I can kind of deal with it on another path.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of being the one that I constantly run into the wall and just bang off the wall.
Yep.
So, you know, for me, it's a lot of practice, a lot of acceptance, willingness to do it, because, I mean, I always feel I have to have some control over the situation somewhere, you know, and knowing things are going to go the right way, you know.
Yeah,
So-
having the faith that it will go the right
Yeah,
way.
exactly. You know, I keep thinking, every time I hear this faith come up, I keep thinking of the big gap of me crossing a bridge, but the bridge isn't there. You know, and just realizing if I just step out, I have to have that faith to make sure I'm stepping on that bridge. And just, you know, if I fall,
You know I have that Indiana Jones thing in my head right now, right?
Yeah.
you know,
But it was a leap of faith.
it's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And you just, you know, just got to be there and just do it. You know?
Yeah.
And just trust in the overall universe, like Margaret said.
Exactly, yeah. very
Li-
cool.
Yeah, and like you were saying, writing it down, and sometimes you have that same challenge over and over, but sometimes when you look back, you say, oh, it's bigger then, it's getting little, you know? So,
Mhm.
yeah,
And it's a worthiness thing of writing it down too,
yeah,
but writing it down makes it real.
yes, yeah.
So I'm starting to get like once a week now, huge signs. And I'm amazed at when they happen physically, it manifests, and I'm like, right when I needed it.
Yes.
It's extraordinary.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Do you think that it is coming to you from something, or not magma spirit, or do you feel like you were interpreting it as something?
Wielding it? No, I believe
More like
it.
existentialist, you know?
Yeah, with the law of attraction, with the gratitude.
Yeah.
Is where I work. And so if I'm putting together a business plan, then I work within how to do that, but I write everything down. So if I want something, it's on vision boards. If I want something, it's on a piece of paper, it's on sticky notes, it's,
Mhm.
but it's, when you manifest it, you have to have the integrity to keep going through with it and not just letting it go, oh, look, Sesame Street showed up,
Right.
so you have to keep going with it.
Very cool. Journaling is one of those things where I wish I could do it, but for some reason, that's one of my blogs.
ADD.
Yeah, probably.
I
But-
was,
You can type,
I can.
You can type. You don't have to physically journal.
Yeah, I also have bad handwriting, so if I,
So
like,
type.
like,
you
I
can
think what it
type
was
out.
when I was doing it like, you get that like 3 in the morning, you get that brilliant idea, and I get up and write it.
Yeah,
Well, my handwriting is bad at 10 in the morning, but 3 in the morning, it's just,
it's like Dr.
nobody
Seuss.
knows what it is, so. It is.
Do you remember Mad About You, and like once a day she'd go and write something down in her little journal, but it
Yeah.
was in the computer? You could do that.
I could, maybe I shall.
Wait a minute, you're a doctor.
I am that
You're that kind of
doctor.
doctor.
I am that kind of a doctor.
The home field advantage.
I've journaled for years and years, and sometimes I journal a problem right out, you know,
Mhm.
and you're just writing it, and all of a sudden, I can look at it like you were saying, and okay, that's what it is. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
really helped me.
Cool.
Or you can record it.
Yeah.
I do enough recording, thank you. Let's jump on to the third question, just because we can. What can you do today to live expectantly, to faithfully conform your actions to the truth that all things are possible in the light of spirit? That's a cool one. Dream boards, vision boards, writing it down.
Mhm.
We have 3, well technically 4 dream boards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because we have a big one for the whole house.
Mhm.
So we have like 4 dream boards in our house. We have hers, mine, and 2 of ours.
Mhm.
So that no matter where we go, and we put them in places where you can't miss them. One's on the refrigerator,
Boom.
2 are in the bathroom, and 1 is kind of in the front room, shall we say?
Sure, your office.
My office.
Yeah.
So by continually having the stuff in front of us, we're always seeing. And when we did one of the dream boards, I put a motorcycle on it. I don't want a motorcycle.
I do.
And motorcycles are cool, but
I want a
I'm
trike.
never gonna ride one here.
You'd ride a trike? We could ride
We
trikes
could ride-
together,
See that?
and we wouldn't have to worry about tipping over.
Yeah.
We could have a sidecar, you could come.
You forget to put your feet down?
Some of them are motorized too, some of them
Yeah.
are motorized.
I would never give someone control of something like that.
Yes.
That's
You just stop
way
the
too
control.
dangerous. No, in my
that's-
You could be
business-
right in the back.
But
No,
That's your
no.
journal that is just like a journal.
It is, yeah.
Maybe not
That's where you
writing
gotta
by
put your
hand, but
faith
you
in.
were doing it.
But I
No.
will say, I did tweak one of my boards, and instead of the motorcycle now, it's got a truck.
Oh,
The
okay.
truck of my,
That's a little
the
safer.
current truck of my dreams.
It's a little safer.
You know, and it's not one of those like, I don't want the $90,000 truck with all the bells. I just want a good, comfortable work truck that'll run forever, one of those deals.
He wants a Tesla.
Oh.
But that's not on my dream board. If
If you won the
what's Joey
lottery.
Tesla's real name? The guy who owns Tesla.
Oh.
Elon Musk?
If Elon
Elon
Musk came
Musk.
by and it's like, threw me the keys, what, Joey Tesla?
You turn your,
Like, it's like, are we at Friends?
if he threw you the keys, you.
If he threw me the keys, I would drive a Tesla. I could plug it in
I'm sure
at
you
home,
would.
right? Because we have solar panels.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So how perfect is that?
Yes.
Right?
Well, that's the prerequisite right there. Unless I have solar panels, do not give me a car.
An electric car.
Electric car.
So I'm being realistic. I don't think
We're halfway there.
I don't think Joey Tesla's going to come bring me a car, but I am manifesting a new truck.
Yeah.
Because that's what he really wants.
Elon, if you're watching, I'm just kidding, man.
That's what you need.
Bring
a
me the truck. I'm not kidding about that.
Yeah.
You need a truck.
I do need a truck.
I need for you to need a truck.
Some of you guys
I need
have
for you to
seen
a
my
truck.
work vehicle.
Yes.
It's not exactly convenient for my day job, so.
And you wouldn't mind riding in a truck with the, versus the motorcycle?
Oh, yes,
Car.
that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your sidecar.
Yeah. With a little buggy.
No,
with the
they're-
It's not
sidecar.
bad.
I have a thing about vulnerable users. It's traffic engineering jokes. but I'll ride my bike, but I won't ride a motorcycle.
I'm with you.
Mm. Anyway,
Anyway,
so what else? What was the question again?
what was the question again? When is Joey Tesla bringing me a truck?
How you doing?
Yeah, there you go.
Friends reference in there.
Okay, back on track. What can you do today to live expectantly, to faithfully conform your actions to the truth that all things are possible in the light of spirit?
I want to, right away when you did that, the first time, I thought of the goal of what we're doing, the mission, going up ministering, and I thought, because whenever I do something like that, the rewards I get, it really is, and it's something you do, and yet you walk away feeling so good.
Mhm.
And even if they didn't take it that much good, you still walk away feeling good.
Yep.
Are you referring to the bowling, the burning bowl ceremony?
No, I'm talking about the new focus that we've been talking about. I can't.
Becoming more
Oh,
mission
mission-
focused.
oh,
Yeah,
mission-centric.
mission-centric.
Okay.
And,
Mhm.
I think that's exciting because
Mhm.
you do feel, and you don't have to have anybody happy over that, like that people that you do it to, but it's just, I always get a gift.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There was, some of us went out about a year ago, maybe more, for, it was Paint Your Heart Out.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, in
And
Tampa,
a
yeah.
bunch of us
Mhm.
from here, from Unity, showed up and painted this lady's house. To me, it was no big deal. I enjoy painting, I'll go out and paint all day long. It was a nice day. To her, it was a huge deal.
Yes.
Her house was getting run down, the paint was crappy and peeling, and she wasn't certain, she's got a few miles on her, so she wasn't gonna go do it herself, and probably couldn't afford to hire someone to do it.
Right.
So by, I don't know, what was it, 30 of us showed up, all told,
Yeah, it was a lot.
and painted the outside of this house in 4 hours or something.
Oh, yeah.
And for each one of us, it wasn't a big deal, but for her, it was huge.
Oh, yeah. We trimmed it out and everything. We did all the trim and all the siding.
Yeah.
And
And we all walked away like, we did that. Well, at least I did. I don't know about you guys, I did.
oh, no, I was still
did that.
critiquing where,
You
with
feel-
another member of the congregation here, two of us were like really anal. It was like, ugh,
There were three of us.
that we were just not, we wanted to go back and repaint a portion of it.
But yeah, doing things for others
Yeah.
is a huge way to keep that going.
And we are investigating in ways that we can do that now, even though we're in the situation we are, with social distancing and so on. So.
Yeah, more ways to reach out to the community.
Yes, yeah. And that's doing something like that question was asking, you know, what can you do? And,
Well, and I also believe that doing this together, and then working towards having better broadcasting capabilities and so on, and maturing in that area, that's also another way, because every time that we come together and we have these kind of thoughts and we share this, we continue to raise the vibration of the entire world. You know, the human race is becoming more advanced. And whenever we have these conversations, and that's one of the most powerful elements of having everyone do this kind of conversation all over the world, simultaneously, internationally. And this isn't just unity, this is international. All denominations are participating in the World Day of Prayer.
and tomorrow, through the course of the day, there will be people that answer, you know, the higher up, you know, that will be answering those questions as pertaining to themselves. So, and there's a whole schedule of who's gonna, you know, I think
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, so for these particular questions,
Yeah.
like Kathy was saying, if you were to go to, and I want to say it's Unity Worldwide Ministries,
Usually it's .org.
.org, and then it's Day of Prayer, or if you Google something like that, it will take you, and you can find the speakers. And one of the things that I had been studying, kind of like today, was does a few people or a group of people meditating together, does it affect people who are not meditating? And like, this looks like an interesting article. And actually, and I don't remember when it was, but it was in Washington, D.C. was one of the places that they studied it. And they brought in about 1,000 people, and they meditated all weekend. And the crime rate dropped by like 40%.
Wow.
The whole weekend. When the meditation stopped, the crime rate worked its way back up.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
So by an entire, you know, the world doing a day of prayer, the entire vibration of the world is going to raise. Ideally, it would stay raised. Maybe it will. Let's hope for that.
Well, at least if we tick it up, you know.
Yes.
We just
You know, there
bump
may
it a
be another
little.
drop down, you know, but could it just drop down a little bit, but
Yeah.
not to where it was
Maybe we
before
go
the session started?
Up 10 points and down 2. Let's go for
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And
And
who knows if there's one person that it changes. you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, here, earlier, we were talking about going over the Skyway Bridge.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's a very popular location where people choose
Yes.
when they've reached that limit, and they'll choose to jump. And it could be powerful enough that it's gonna cause that hesitation where someone's not going to, and then someone comes in and grabs their hand to keep them still with us. And then they see a whole new light. Because once you go to the edge, then,
Yes.
you know, they'll be able to help more people and more people and more people. And so then you have the ripple effect, and that really makes a change. So, I mean, it could just be one little thing. And I think that's part of faith and why it's so powerful, is you never know. That's why it's important when you're walking down the street, even if you're in a bad mood, the best thing to do is smile to somebody else.
Yes.
Of course, we're in mass. Amazingly, though, you can still smile and people see it in your eyes, right?
Yes.
Or behind your head.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
For those who don't know, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago,
Yeah,
I delivered the message here at Unity, and we were coming in before the service, and the band was practicing, and they hit this song. What was the song, Michael? The rock song you guys played a couple weeks ago. Needed more cowbell. I know that.
Oh, fear the reaper, don't fear the reaper.
Don't fear the reaper.
Don't
Yeah.
feel
Oh,
the
it was
reaper.
so good.
And
Yes.
I'm in
Oh.
front, and Margaret's right
Yeah, that was
behind me,
good.
and she said, "I can see you smiling from back here."
I could. I swear to God, his ears. You can see him smiling because his ears perked up.
Isn't that
how many sanctuaries can you go into and they're rocking a song like that? It was beautiful and it was so
And
appropriate.
it fit my message,
Exactly.
which was, that was just bonus points there.
It was.
I have told Alvon next time I want the cowbell.
Oh, yeah, more cowbell.
So yeah, and a simple smile, or how many times you go through the checkout line and the person in front of you is like, here's my stuff, give me my change. And you are the next one in line, it's like, hey, how are you today?
Yeah.
And the cashier is like, good, thanks. And they immediately cheer up a little,
Yeah.
brightens up their day. So it could be something as simple as a, how you doing? Or, like you said, a smile, or just anything. Just,
I know sometimes I go to work, like on my way there, I'm thinking, oh, I want to go, and I've got all this anxiety about everything. I get there, it's a school, it's a high school. When I get there, when I start seeing people and I start smiling just because it's social, that's my social face, I just start feeling better because I am smiling and I'm looking up and I'm interacting with people. And the next thing I know, I've kind of forgotten about whatever was
stuff.
troubling me. Yeah.
that stuff in the background.
Yeah.
It does help everyone shift.
Yeah, cool.
And then you can actually solve problems better when you're in a different frame of mind.
Yep, because when you're, and not that this has ever happened to me, but you're working on something and it doesn't go right, you're immediately miserable, And I was watching a video today, another woodworker guy, and he was working on this gorgeous piece and something went wrong. And he cuts away, and then he's like, so this is what happens when you have a temper in the shop. And he shows on the floor his headphones are just decimated because he must have just like thrown them down. And then you have to walk away because you can't work like that. So as soon as I try to catch myself getting into that mood of it's not going right, and this is terrible, I'm miserable, and
It'll never work.
it'll never work. So you got to take a minute and either step away and do something else, or catch your breath, take a little meditation,
We say thank you.
and say thank you, and then you can calmly go back and like, oh wait, I didn't destroy this whole piece. There's just this one little thing that I can still do to fix it, and no one will ever know that there was a mistake, or and the choice is yours. Are you going to dwell in the misery of the bad mood, or are you going to pull yourself out of it and get on with your day and shine a little light?
Well, your risk is very high that if you stay in that environment with a hot temper, you start losing fingers
Yes.
and you start
Wait,
bleeding.
where's the camera? I can still count to 10.
So it's working.
Exactly. I'm very
Bleeding, I do.
Okay,
bleed.
I'm jealous.
Okay.
So, I was thinking the same thing, because I was just doing something this afternoon. I'm playing keyboard, I do some artwork and stuff.
Uh-huh.
A couple of weeks ago, I tried this technique with a certain art piece, and it didn't work out well.
Yeah, you told us about it. Yeah.
Exactly. And I got really upset with it. Looked like a 3-year-old did it. I'm like, okay, forget it, moved on. Came back and I started, every other day just working a piece, and starting to come back a little bit. Still some work to be done to it, but today, for instance, I play keyboard as well.
Yep.
And I was playing a specific piece today, and as I'm off camera, but as most people here can tell, I have 3 fingers on one hand and one on the other, and my one plays the melody, and I'm playing the chords with the left. And I start hearing my one finger hit 2 notes at a time, 3 notes at a time, and I'm like, okay. I stop, I look at my finger, and I go, what's your excuse? Or when I had other people in the house, where I have my family's kind of dispersed at the moment, it was always like, I could put it on somebody else for a moment or two.
Yeah.
The daughter, or the wife. You're asking questions while I'm doing something, stop.
Right.
But I really need to look at this now. I'm by myself. I have nobody else to look at but the one in the mirror.
Yes.
Right.
And that's me.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's where I have to stop, realize what's going on, put no expectations out, and just try to continue on with what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So,
Thank you,
Yeah.
Kathy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. Often, it's the pause.
yeah,
It's in the grace is in the pause,
And that's beautiful.
not the pause like these.
yeah.
yeah. And again, like Mark mentioned expectations, we've been talking about that recently.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you can get rid of those expectations, you know, and again, I'm guilty of it. You know, I expect that when you buy something, it's going to work the way it says it's supposed to work. Well, if it doesn't, is it because I'm doing it wrong? Because I had these grand expectations that would do all this stuff? Or is it just the way it is?
Bad engineering.
Or there's bad engineering? But yeah, how many times can expectations bite you in the behind?
Mhm.
How does the lowering your expectations or whatever it is, how does that go with the anything's possible in spirit? They seem like they're opposites.
Well, it's not that you're lowering your expectations, it's that you don't have them.
They're not lofty.
You know, you don't
They're not
like-
so high that,
yeah, you don't wake up in the morning and say, I expect that I'm going to have this a fabulous day and everything's going to go right. I'm going to hit all green lights. The work is going to be great. I'm going to come home and have this amazing dinner. And you hit your first red light and it's like, my day's shot.
There you go. Okay. Looking forward, you're really thinking,
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but dealing with the reality of the situation is a different situation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For every bump in the road, you can always reset. Just continue on.
Well done.
You know, that's the way I see it.
Nice.
You know, I mean, I do that often. I wake up with expectations. I expected all the traffic to be gone going southbound today, and they were all with me. But, you know, getting cut off by people from out of state, and I'm like, well, what? Come on, you know, use your blinker. You know, it's pouring rain. I put the wipers. I put the lights on.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
trying to tell people what to do, and it's like they're not doing it. Well, maybe I should just kind of pay attention to what I'm doing, you know, and continue on.
Yeah.
You know, and that for me is where, you know, but like I said, if I hit a bump in the road and I start getting upset, I have to reset. And the way I reset personally is by meditation,
Mhm.
by just gravitating to some type of music that, you know, just kind of puts me in that, like, almost weird state where I'm not even paying attention to what's going around me, but I am, you
Yeah.
know, so, you know, I just kind of let things happen.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a
Yeah.
big part of it. That it's not so much expecting, you know, the rainbow unicorn, but expecting the way others behave, or they shouldn't do that. That guy shouldn't have cut me off. I think it's more of knowing that, you know, people are people. What can I do to accept them as they are, and not put these grand expectations, and especially on a total stranger
Right.
in traffic? Good luck with that.
Right.
But it's the same with, you know, loved ones. You know, for years, I expected women in my life to know when I was upset. If you know me that well, you should know that I'm upset. How stupid is that, you know? As opposed to me saying, hey, I'm really upset. And then she would go, I didn't know that. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily how it works now, but
Signals,
it's
right?
work in practice. But
You're getting your cue card.
know,
Like,
and-
here's your card. I'm pissed off.
And the,
Write it down. Index cards show up out of nowhere.
well, and further in that idea, what I have learned is about setting plans that include other people. You know, you can set forth plans, and what I've tried to stay strong in my faith is that if it's not playing out the way I thought it was supposed to, because I had a certain expectation of how it was going to play out, I do my darndest to say, okay, well, obviously this isn't the way it's supposed to go. And then I remain hopeful that there's probably something better that's waiting for me. That there's gonna be a better place and more suitable where I thought this is the track. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I can use my, the example of my job that I took over a year and a half ago. And I took that position and I was like, wow, I got into it. I was like, my 30-year career prepared me for this position.
You're like a city planner, right?
I'm a traffic engineer, which is, you just offended me, but I know you didn't know that. He called me a planner. But anyway.
Did you watch Seinfeld?
Anyway,
Better-
no. I
Better
really,
than the architect, right?
oh, yeah, exactly. I would have corrected you on that one too. No, I am just kidding. Some of my best friends are, actually, people accuse me of spending more time planning than I do engineering.
Oh, okay.
But I can actually swing both ways,
Yeah.
you know, so. Yes, inappropriateness implied. Okay, so I took this job, and as I got into it, it's like, wow, I feel like I've prepared my whole career has prepared me for this job. But unfortunately, the team that I was on, we did not blend well in the leadership side. Completely, being 30 years into my career, I have a leadership style, and I have very high expectations of myself and my teammates. And anyway, that kind of transitioned, and I was offered a different position because my supervisor and I didn't get along at all and communicate at all. And come to find out, I am now in a position for the district DOT that really, really allows me to completely thrive and help all of Tampa Bay. So it's really exciting because I never thought I could ever be better than where I was, and all of a sudden I'm in a much better place. And I could,
Something better.
yes, exactly. So that's really the point, is that, you can set forth a plan,
Yeah.
but when your expectations aren't met, that's probably the way I've learned it, is that, okay, well, there's probably something better that awaits me, or I have a lesson to learn here. And then it unfolds. And so I think when people say, let go of your expectations, that's kind of what they mean, is just adjust your perspective. And I like to try to live my day with wonder. What's going to happen today?
Yeah.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Very cool. Anybody have any last minute thoughts, additions? Before I give up my comfy seat to Michael? It's not that.
I'm over there, actually.
Oh, are you?
I'm gonna be at the piano tonight.
Oh!
Yay!
We can
I'm just
adjust.
gonna play,
Yeah.
a couple of songs that I've written recently.
Excellent!
Got all this
Sweet.
time, this COVID time, so.
Sweet. Well, Michael,
I'm going to move this.
it's all you, man.
Let me see if this
All of
works.
us together at the end of this.
Did it just switch? It stopped. It didn't switch automatically.
Nice. Just a simple little ditty bang together.
All right.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Enjoy it.
You're always welcome to come and play.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I love playing this piano, so. it's
Oh,
always a treat.
nice.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't have like an acoustic one at home. I have a, I mean, it's pretty nice. It's like, like a sample
Mhm.
keyboard.
Yeah.
It feels pretty close, but there's nothing like this, feeling that weight and everything.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
So it is worth keeping the piano, right?
Oh, I love it. I mean, for me, it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it for the church.
I think it is.
Yeah.
We'll keep it.
Yeah.
We'll find a place.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
All right. Well, guys, thank you all for
Thank you for
joining us this
joining us.
evening.
Yeah, thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
And with that said, I think we're going to call it.